Welcome to another episode of 207. I made a mistake. And the worst part is, I didn't even get it on video. So let's talk about what happened. First, let's get this in the air. I was supposed to go on a short ride with Colton. And I thought it was going to be short, so I didn't record. Little did I know, I should have pressed record. Right there. I'm missing a shock. There's one fault shock, and then there's a broken mount. Not good. Effed up. So, I'm back. It's been about a week or so since I messed with this last time. And I didn't really mess with it. I was just looking at kind of what the hell I'm gonna have to do next. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to mark with a paint marker where the OEMs were, and then I'm gonna cut both of them off, and then I'm gonna weld these barns on. Put it at somewhat of a same angle, I believe, because these OEM ones, they drop down, and then you have to get these brackets to realign the shock when you get I think it's over 3.5 inches. It might be over 4.5 inches of lift. I can't remember, but once you hit that lift, the pitch changes. So you have to get these mounts, and they're a failure point. I've had a couple of them already fail. So honestly, this might be just a blessing in disguise. And they're way thicker. So just gonna rough it up. Right there. Am I doing this 100% correct? Probably not. I'm probably not doing this correct. I'm also gonna take a crap ton of pictures of what I'm doing right now so I can look back. These axles are not gonna be under here much longer. Going to speak it into existence. The Dana 44s are gonna be in here soon. So, just getting this be somewhat okay for now. So I'm gonna pull this garbage off from rough country. I'm gonna pull this Fox shock off, and then I'm gonna cut here, I'm gonna cut there, and cut there, and then clean it up, and then go from there. I think I'd rather be pulling a motor right now than do what I'm doing right now. I know that sounds dramatic, but I hate welding. I'm using an adjustable hammer. Get over it. I have a bunch of different bolt sizes in here, and I don't feel like having 40 wrenches over here, so. Tension is off because the shock is Bluetooth. I think that's nice. I'll be right back. I was way wrong. I know this is overkill, but I already have the tools out, so. I think there was 2 different thicknesses, and I think I ordered the thicker one on accident. It doesn't matter. Honestly, it's probably for the best anyways. It's gonna change the angle of the dangle. Everything is going to be okay. Nope, time to get the shock off. So the shock is out. I am going to wash the shit out of this thing when this is all fixed and said and done. If there is a really good touchless car wash soap that actually works, comment underneath, because I want to get some. It's hard to get all of this off. This is just from me missing it completely, but when I don't miss it completely, it has like that film on it. So if there's a touchless car wash soap that actually works, comment underneath so I can try it out for myself and see if it's gonna work for me. Because I would like to keep this thing somewhat clean all the time because they're easier to work on. All right, I'm gonna start grinding. I have earbuds in, I'm gonna play music because grinding metal isn't the most beautiful sound in the world. I am gonna use my GoPro though. Hello, to videotape what I am doing. So stay tuned. It's gonna look way worse before it looks better. I had to cut and then fold it down so I could cut on this side because this hanger is in the way. That was success. Now for the other side. Sweet, so this one's off. This one is also off. Now I just got to kind of clean it up a little bit and then put the shocks back on to help me get it in the same area. And weld them back on. Grinding sucks. I'm gonna use these nubs as guides for the new ones. I'll clean them up later at a later date. Get the shocks back on, get the pitch correct, and then tack weld the new ones on, and just make sure that they're on there correct, and then finish welding them. Nemesis is your friend. Then when you take it back off, and whatever time it takes for you to break it again, you don't hate yourself. Put these mounts on, line them up the best that I can, and tack weld them. And if I'm a little off, left or right, I can just hit them off. All welded up and shocks are back in. I had a slight malfunction with the welder, but I hit them with a hammer and they're not moving, so good old backwoods weld test hit with a hammer. So I'm gonna get this down off the lift, bring it to Madison, do a better job washing it, and then there's a couple other things that I wanna take care of before the next jeeping trip, so. Let's see if I can get this thing just a little bit cleaner. And when I mean a little bit, I mean a lot. There, the outside's better and so isn't the inside. Okay, so it's been about a week since I even touched this thing. It's been pretty crazy. There's a couple things that I gotta do to this before I can use it again. I'm gonna pull this thing off. Having a 35, 12, 5, 15 on the back of this tailgate is not doing this tailgate any favors, so I'm gonna pull it off. So I'm gonna pull this off. Route these wires somewhere. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet. My Jeep needs a clock spring. So that's cool. Super easy. All I gotta do is pull that steering wheel off. The clock spring is actually right behind that steering column, I guess you can call it. Just slides right out, unplugs, new one plugs right back in. I gotta get that iPad fixed. It still works, but I'm just waiting to get a piece of glass in my finger, so that's probably gonna be a next week's thing. I have a new mirror coming because Owen broke that one. I do want to eventually fix the exhaust and put the gas tank skid plate back on. It's probably not going to be this go around. It's probably going to be next go around. We have the camping trip coming up here pretty soon, which is pretty cool. Alex, Colton, Luke, all the same people are going on that trip. Luke is going to be bringing his T100, which is pretty sick. There. If anyone wants a rear tire carrier for their Jeep, let me know. I don't necessarily need it, but I don't necessarily want to get rid of it just yet. There we go. Like I said, it's just temporary. The next step is adjusting this rear glass. So when you shut it, because of the seal that I put in between the tub and the hardtop, it lifted it up 1/4 of an inch, and now it doesn't seal. Right there. Hello. So I have been told that you can drop this glass down just a tad, and if that's the case, then I might be able to make it so it seals. But I've also been warned that these break extremely easy, so hopefully I don't end up doing that. That is going to be the next step, and then end up doing the clock spring. I need to get this window to lock because it's starting to become extremely annoying. So unfortunately it did not work, and I didn't want to force it because I don't want to buy a new back window. Apparently there's a seal that you can buy that goes from there to there that corrects this issue. I'm gonna get that ordered, and it should be here next week. So I had to order some parts for the door, and I had to order a steering wheel puller because I can't get the steering wheel off. So I'm gonna end the video right here, and I might record the rest of the repair. I might not, but this will be back on the road next week regardless. I appreciate you guys watching, and see you next time.